Hi everybody, welcome to today's Breathe and Bead. I'm Bethany Hughes with the Verna Fowler Academic Library and Menominee Public Library. And today, Maria, our library director, is actually going to be showing us the odd count peyote stitch around a paracord. Participants received a kit and we are ready to go. All right, thank you so much for joining us.
We have an hour, but it seems like just threading the needle takes forever. I threaded mine earlier. It took me 5 minutes. And usually when Janice does it, it's like whoosh, and she's going. Me, I'm like, okay, where, and I'm trying really hard to get that thread in the needle. But yeah, so I usually put mine
on there,
double, but I make mine longer. And then you want to get your wax once you have your knot, and you want to make sure that you put your wax through your thread. I do that, otherwise it's really curly and it's hard to stay with.
Wow.
And I really don't want it to get knotted up on me. So I try and make sure I run the wax through the thread and it stays together a little better. I have a tendency for my thread to knot if I'm not careful with it. And then you got to start all over again with the knotting at the end and the threading and the waxing. It's not the end of the world, but it does slow you down. Has anybody done the peyote stitch before? Denise, have you done peyote stitch?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, the last time Janice was showing us how to do it with an even number of beads, I don't know the even number of beads. So when you're learning from me, it's going to be the odd number. But if you know how to do it and you know how to do the even number, just go with what you know. You just have to live with me not knowing how to do, not feeling as comfortable with the even numbers. It's a different way of going around in circles.
I appreciate learning the odd one because I have not done that before.
Yeah, I think it's
on the left.
It's easy. So does everybody have their needle threaded? Getting to that point? Well, one of the things while you're threading your needle, one of the things that I would like you to think about is what color are you going to start with? Because I think of that as being like your background color. So like with this, I have to remember where to put my item that I'm showing you. When I worked with this one, I started with blue. And blue ends up being what I think of as being the background color, because that's the one that you see in between. And then I picked a different color. I think I used 4. I picked different colors to make little patterns. So, but the blue is kind of like the main one you start with. So if you look at your colors, try and think of what color would be the best background color, and then how you want to accent with the other ones. So which ones look good next to each other and which ones you probably would not want to put together. So I know your colors are, I'm not sure what everybody's colors are, but that is probably the biggest decision that I usually have to make, is like, what color do I start with and then where do I go? So I'm looking at my colors on the tray and I'm thinking I'm going to go with the light blue, because then I can use this. This is like a purple, and this is a light purple or a pink. And I think these purple and pinks will look really good together. And then the nice thing about the blue is the purple will go against it pretty well. So I like to have, if I'm lucky, I have what I call the pop factor, where it looks really good together. So I'm hoping that you're at the point where you're ready to pull your paracord up. And it's kind of a preference thing, but I think the easiest thing for you to do, since this is a little one, is to hold the paracord with your 2 fingers, like your thumb and your pointer finger, and put your needle through right below that. Then you have a nice little bit to put together at the end. You don't have too much. See, when you put this together at the end, you don't want to have a whole lot of beading to go around at the end to join it up. But if you put like your thumb width, that should be enough sewing for you to get all the way through. Does this make sense so far? I hope. So you're going to pull your needle through, and hopefully it doesn't get stuck on the other end. Then, like I said, I was going to start with the light blue. I don't know how many beads I'm gonna need, so I start putting my beads on, and then I look to see how many I need and where it gets close to meeting up with itself as you go around. So I'm gonna just start picking up beads, and I'm gonna count and see how many I get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Maria, can you show us how far down we need to go on the paracord? Hold your paracord up so I can see it.
Hi,
Okay.
can you transfer me to Brian Kolakowski, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, where did you put the needle through it?
Oh, I was holding onto it with my thumb. So I held it together.
Oh,
with
okay,
my
about
thumb
a
and my
thumb's
finger,
width? Okay,
and I put 9 beads on. You see, oh wait, there we go. Hopefully you can kind of see. I put 9 beads on and it looks like it's almost all together. There's a little bit, not too much. There's a little bit of space, and I'm hoping this works out. So what I'm going to do is it's close together without going past the other bead that I started with. I'm going to go through that first bead. And I'm going to pull it tight. Now the other thing you want to do is make sure that little piece of string is below your beads. Then you don't have to worry about hiding it later. You're just hiding it now. Hopefully that makes sense. So you have your needle through your first bead. Then you're going to grab another bead. And this is just like when you do the even numbers. You skip a bead and you go through the next one. Again, I'm going to pick a fatter one. That one is kind of skinny. Like I said, you skip one bead and you go through the next one. I hope you can see that. And I like to hold on to the bead with my finger, and then I pull it so that it's nice and snug. And I hold the string with my other finger, grab my needle to pick up another bead, and then I skip a bead and I go through the second one. And then once you get this down, we'll just be going around in circles. And after you get the first row, it's a lot easier. And you can be a little faster. And then, I don't know if you can see this, but one of my strings is not all the way through my piece of thread. So I'm going to pull so that it comes all the way through. So you can't see it anymore. Okay, getting my way around. I'm going to grab another bead, skip a bead, and go through the second one. I like to hold it down with my finger so it doesn't wiggle around too much. Then you pull it tight. I'm holding the beads by my finger and I'm pulling the thread so that it stays really snug. Okay, now I'm going to grab another bead. If I can. Sometimes they hide or they say, not me. Ah, there's one that's willing to go onto the keychain. Okay, so again, skip the bead and go to the next one. And because this is a little small paracord, it doesn't take that long to get around. So we're pulling again. Okay, now I am back at the beginning. Okay, so I am back at, oh, wrong way. I don't know if you can see that. I'm back at the beginning. And I know that because I can see this bead right here. Wait, hopefully you can see that. This bead right here. And what I'm going to do is once I'm back at the beginning, I go through the first bead that's down. Can you see that? Oh, tip this way and down. So once you make it around, you go through that first bead that's down and you pull your bead through. And it kind of comes like a little diamond. So you can see you're making your way around and you're getting around. There's 2 beads here and there's 2 beads here. It's like learning how to drive backwards. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so as I'm going around, you can see there's 2 here and there's 2 here. And the more you go around, it's you can count your rows. You'll see it starts to add up.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
What you doing? You having fun at work?
Yep.
Oh, and then I knotted up my string. Ugh. Wouldn't you know? So if you just keep going, and hopefully you don't knot your string like I did, you'll just keep going around and adding another bead and another bead. Ah, there we go. I got lucky this time. Okay. So you just keep going. And I usually go down like 3 or 4 rows, especially on a little one like this, so you can have some kind of design. Like I said, just keep going around your cord. And then one of my little strings is coming up. I want to try and hide that so he's not sticking out for everybody to see. So I pulled up my thread. I'm picking it out so that it stays down. Voila, hiding my thread again. Okay, so again, just keep grabbing another bead, and I need to grab another bead and then add it on to the next one that's sitting down a little farther. And then I go again. And I am back where I started from. And the way I can tell that is by looking at the beads on my paracord. Oh, it's trying so hard to focus. Hopefully you can see it. But if you see there's 2 beads and then there's 2 beads and they're stacking, I hope you can see that. They're stacking, and so you know you've gone all the way around because everywhere you go around, there are 2 beads. You see that? I hope. So if we go around one more time, that'll give us a little bit of a space. Something, yeah. And then you can decide on if you want to do a pattern of any kind. But I usually like to give my background color a chance. So I'm just going to go around one more time. And I don't know about the people who have done this before, if they have patterns that they like to use, or if there's a way that you think it would look nice. Sometimes it's just changing your colors, making a line of colors. Oh, sorry, I keep pulling my hands out from under the camera. Okay. Oh, I pull it tight. Make sure you keep pulling it tight. And I'm counting my rows, and I can see I'm 3. And here's another 3. And here is another 3. Okay, now I'm back to the beginning because I have finished and I am at 3 beads down all the way around. So if you count from the top and you go around, you see that there are 3 all the way around. So I'm going to show you one of the things I like to do is a simple up down. So you get, oh sorry, you can put 1 bead and then keep your blues and then go 1 bead and it becomes like a little mini V. It's hard to see because they're so close together, but you can do like a little V, or you could go like this one is a simple one where you just go all the way around with a different color. Then you switch to a different color. You just switch your colors and you make 1 line and some type of pattern, and then you go back to your background color. And then I did what I call a little like a little lightning bolt, and that's pretty simple. So I will show you the little V, and the lightning bolt is kind of similar, but I'll show you the little V. So in order to do the little V, I usually have to count how many beads I have, how many spots I have available on this going down part. So I'll start with this purple because I like the purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. I have a lot of purple. It's just finding which purple goes with which blue or which yellow. I haven't tried it with orange. I think anything is possible when you get the right kind of beads. Okay, so now I know this is where I'm starting from. So they have the 1 deep purple, it kind of blends in. I have the 1 deep purple bead right here. And I'm going to count how many times until I get back to the purple one. So I have 1, 2, 3. And then there's kind of a 4. So I could go over, let's see, 1, 2. So I can do 1 light blue. And sometimes it doesn't end up perfect, but you'll still get a little V out of it. 1 light blue. I'm starting to knot myself up again. And I'm going to grab my light purple, put that one on. Okay, I got to pull my string again because one of them is sticking out. You don't want to have your string sticking out. I think that's how things come apart. Oh, wait, no, that's my other one. That's from the beginning. Worst case scenario, if you end up with a string sticking out because it didn't hide itself really well, is you can burn it off when you're all done. If you're really good at hiding things, though, then you don't have to worry about the burning. Okay, then I have my light blue again. Now I'm back to the beginning, and here's my purple. So what I'm going to do to make a V is do 1 purple on either side of it. And because they're so close, you won't really see a whole lot of definition, but it'll be there. Okay, so then I'm back to, because it's so close, here's another purple. And you do a purple on either side of that one. Oh, got to get into the bead first. There's a light purple, there's a deep purple. Getting there, he's trying. And here's another one, back into the other side of it. Now, we are back at the beginning again, where we started. So we grab another purple because we're making a V. Go into that first one. Now, in order for you to see the V, you're at the middle of the V now. What you're going to do is you're going to add a different color, unless you wanted to make it 2 rows thick. We'll just make it 1 so you can see this easier. So here's my light color. I'm going to do my purple on the other side. And I have my light color again because I'm at the middle of the V. And pull that bead through. So you can see it is starting to form a little bit. It takes a little time to see it. And after you, if you like peyote and you start doing it, after a while, you'll probably see the patterns without having to see it start. Okay, so now we're back at the beginning and here's the light colored one. So now in order to keep the V going, we're going to put a light colored one next to that one. So there's a light colored one next to it. And here's the one on the other side of it. I'm going to keep going around. We made up with the first one on one side, and then we're going to have one on the other side. And then we're close again, so we're going to go on one side of the V. And then, because you have 3 colors, here is your moment of choice. You can decide, do you want to do another dark purple, your first color? And so you have purple, dark color, light color, dark color. Do you want to do dark color, light color, blue? So this is your chance to make a pattern and you start figuring out what colors you want to use. Because whatever color you want to use is going to be the next one you put down. I think I'm going to go with the darker purple. The way I was trying it out was to put the bead there. And I kind of like the way the purple looks with the light color. When I put the light blue on there, I just, I didn't feel like it had the same kind of pop. I haven't tried this pattern out already, so I didn't know what it was going to look like. So I'm going to go with the deeper color. Let's go through again. Make sure you keep pulling it tighter. And then I have my light color to do one more time. And then the darker color. Gotta get a fatter bead. Sometimes they're really skinny and then I don't feel like it lays out as good. I got my deep purple there. And then you can see I have the pale color and the pale color, and the thing in the middle has to be the pale color. I think sometimes they say that beading is like math. You have to see the possibilities. Okay. Oh, keep missing the bead. Okay. So now I'm back to the dark color and I'm adding the next dark color to make the little V. And I believe these same patterns and designs can be used if you do even or odd. I'm back to the dark color in the middle, so I have to make sure I go through on each side with a dark color. Okay, so now I'm back at the beginning of my V and I'm going to leave it this dark, light, dark. So I'm going to go back to the blue. I'm going to put the blue in there and let it stand by itself as its own little design. And I think the purple looks really good next to the blue. So I think this part will turn out pretty nice. I'm going to add the blue again. But it's all about whatever design style you like to add. Whatever possibility makes you happy in your color choices. And there's some more blue. Okay, here's another blue. And I just keep going around. When I get to the solid colors, I can usually go faster because I don't have to think about what bead goes next. Most of the time. Okay. So now I've gone almost all the way around. Oh, starting to get loose. I gotta pull it tight. Felt one of my beads. I saw one of my beads hanging over. And I don't think you want it to be loose. You want it to stay nice and snug next to the paracord. Okay, now I've gone all the way around. You can see it, you can kind of see the little V, I hope. Let's see, yep, there we go. So you can see that it's a little V, it's not really big. If you had more space to, you know, if it was a fatter cord, you could probably make more than one V and it'd be wider and be easier to tell. But sometimes these little slight things just help give it a nice little look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 more rows of the blue. And I'm going to know it's 3 more rows of blue because I am going to count from the bottom of this purple V where it goes down right here. I'm going to count the blue beads that come after it until I have 3 before I do something else. And that shouldn't take too long. It's such a tiny little keychain. A little bit bigger than the stick one that we did the last time, but still the same idea. So you just keep going around, working on your design, whatever your pattern is. You can make like diamonds too. I don't really do diamonds very often. Once in a while. Just keep spinning ourselves around. This one probably won't take you very long to finish. Once you get started and you get a feel for your colors and your design. Oh, there it is sticking out again. Gotta make sure I pull that tight and then I hold it with my finger. Keep going around. Counting for my purple bead. I am now at my second time around because I'm going 1, 2. Because it turns a little bit on the counting part. The worst thing is when I spill my beads. I almost did that just now. Okay, I keep forgetting to pull this guy nice and snug. You gotta watch out for the other end. Sometimes he wants to jump in. All right, getting our way around again. It's my number 3. 1, 2, here's 3 on this one. I can see it on the from the purple one, the dark color. Oh, I am down 1, 2, 3. The thing is, I want to be able to track my progress easy. So I want to have my next design follow right underneath where that purple one ended. So here's my little V, and I have 3 beads. I want my next design to start right underneath that one. So I have to go around again so there's an opening created. I don't know if that makes sense right yet, but I think as you go, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Ugh. My beads keep hiding on me. Okay. Okay, maybe that would be better. Okay, so I'm looking at my purple. I'm at 1, 2, 3, but it's not, the next time I go down, it's not going to match up with where right underneath it. I have to go around one more time. Okay, so now I am at a point where I can do another pattern of some kind. So here's the bottom of the V, and I have 1, 2, 3 beads, and then there's this opening right here. There's a spot, and this is where I'm going to start my pattern again. So this time I'm going to do my little lightning bolt. We have enough time to show you that one. That's my favorite one to do. So it starts with the 1 bead, then I go back to the blue, and then here's that purple spot again. Here I'm going to add the 1 bead, and then I go back to the blue, and then here's that purple bead again. I hope you can see it. He's blending in with my paracord, but he's there. Now, in order to make the lightning bolt, I have to, I shouldn't say lightning bolt. I call it like a Shazam, because that's what it reminds me of, like the little superhero look. So in order to make my Shazam, I have to put a blue one to the right of the purple one, and then I need to put a purple one next to that one. It'll be easier to see when we go around one more time. So it looks kind of weird now, but it'll look better later. So here's my purple one again, and I'm putting a blue one to the right of that, and then a purple one to the left. And then I'm at the blue, I need to add another blue. Okay, now I'm back at the beginning, and here's that purple bead. And then I am going to add a purple one under it. And this is how I get my little Shazam guy going. So there's a purple, and then I'm going to put another purple next to the one on the left, and another one to the left of that. And I don't know if you can see it yet, but the pattern is coming. So we're getting to the beginning again. Here's the purple bead, and I need to put one underneath it. So you have that line. And then here's your purple one. You want to put your purple next to it. So you add another purple next to the left. And then we're at the blue spot. We need to add the blue. Okay, so now we're kind of in the middle. This is the part where we add a different color, or you make it 2 rows. I'm just going to make 1 row this time. So I'm going to add my lighter color in the middle. So it's kind of like the little V, but it's going to be a different shape. Make sure you pull your string nice and tight. And keep going with that color for your design. So there's another purple, deep color. And then I'm at the opening again. In between the purples, I need to add my other color, which is this lighter one. And now my Shazam is starting to form. And then I add the purple again. And then I put the purple underneath the other one. I hope you can see everything. All right. And I'm at the light colored mark again. Need to add my light color. And I need to add another dark color. All right. Now my little pattern is coming out. It's starting to come into focus. I hope you can see it. All right. Here's time for my light color again. Closer. Sometimes my dry skin on my thumb ends up making my thread really thin. I can feel it doing it right now. It's horrible. Lotion or something is needed. Every now and again, your stuff might get stuck together like this. You got to take it kind of slow or you'll end up with a knot. I hate knots. They are such a pain. Sometimes you can't get it out and then you have to start all over with new thread. Okay. All right. So the little pattern, oh gosh, I'm like driving a car backwards all the time. The new pattern is starting to form. Not that easy to see yet, but it is trying. Ooh. I must not have had my thread perfectly good. Okay. Keep just going around, making sure you have whatever design you want to happen. There we go. Okay, so now I'm at the beginning again. I shouldn't say the beginning. I'm at the point where I have two light color beads and I need to decide what's going to go here. And up above, I found that the dark purple looks good next to the light color. So I'm going to add another dark color. I'm going to keep going around. You should have some music on or something. A little background, relaxation stuff. Put you in your Zen beading mode. Oh, I need a better one. Okay. Oh, my little baby Shazam is coming along just fine. Does anybody have any questions so far? Are you just soaking it all in? I hope. Having a good time. Ooh. Once in a while, I gotta shake out my beads.
You mentioned earlier that there's like different sizes of paracord. Is it just a matter of using more beads if you use like a thicker style, or is there anything else you had to change?
Well, you have to use more beads. The thing about the thickness of the paracord I found is that depending on how thick it is, you have to change the size of your wristlet. So if you had a thicker paracord, you wouldn't be able to make a small one. I tried, and the it like breaks the beads in the middle
Oh, yeah.
because it's like they're straining to try and stay in the place that they're in, but it's too it's like it's too fat and I can't get around it or something.
Huh.
But it was a lesson learned. I didn't bring those samples, the failures. I left the failures at home. Okay, so I got to the middle of the purple and I'm going back to the blue. Because it may not seem like it, but this could be a repeating design that I could just keep going for a while and then do something different to make all the way around. But yeah, I think like this one, Bethany, is a thicker paracord. And so the design I could do is a little bit different. It's not as flexible. And then this one must have been a thinner paracord because it's like super stretchy, bouncy. Do you see the difference? So
Yeah, that's really cool.
the thickness affects the flexibility,
Huh, yeah.
the zowiness. And this one is the thinner, it's a thinner paracord, but it still has a little bit of give, but not a lot. When I tried to use a thick one and make a little tiny one, all the beads broke right here, which was
Oh.
really frustrating. Well, they didn't break, but they just kind of separated. I'm trying to sew it together, but I'm like, well, I can never give that away. What if it breaks all together? Somebody will think I'm a horrible beater. So yeah, I just kept that one at home. Like, yep, don't use the thick stuff. And I didn't realize at the time there were different thicknesses and that it would affect it like that. So,
Yeah. Huh.
but yeah, that was my lesson learned. Oh, gotta make sure I put my hands in the right place. But if you can see my little Shazam, oh, wait, wrong spot. My little Shazam is coming through. But like I said, you can do just about anything you want. Because like on this one right here is a little Shazam, and it's they're just different patterns of color. And it's just changing that and then doing like solids all the way around. So it depends on what you like to do or what makes you happy. So it's hard for me to just use 3 colors. I'm usually using like 4 sometimes. I'm like, oh, I wish I had another color. Oh, I wish I had another color. I'm trying to use what everybody else was given. So I'm like, just stick with 3. What can you do with 3 colors?
That's so hard to do.
It is. There's so many choices. I think the hardest thing is picking out the colors, the 3 colors to begin with, and add a 4th. I think I'd lose my marbles.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Does anybody want to show what you're doing or how your pattern is coming out? How's it coming, Denise? Wait, I can't see. Let me. Oh, that's pretty. What color is it? Could you show me again? Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's nice. That looks really good. You know, it's really fun because some people see different things, you know, different colors and different combinations. That's one thing I like about the beading stuff. It's crazy, but when I bead a lot, sometimes I'll close my eyes and I'll see different colors combinations. And I'm like, I hope I remember that when I wake up. I'll wake up wanting to do something in blues.
So I didn't get one of the kits, and because I had paracord, but I left the paracord at home, so
No.
I failed at that. But I have I started gathering materials to do the keychain again. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to do like the medicine wheel colors
Oh, yeah.
with that. So
Oh, that looks nice.
I'm hoping that I'll be able to like make it work to the end, but I don't know how many rows I can get around, so we'll see what happens.
Well, it is tricky because it's kind of like trying to figure out how to make your design go all the way down, which
Yeah,
is what I usually try and think about. I'm like, okay, I've got my little Shazam going. I've got, you know, these things. Do I do like colors? Do I do lines? Do I alternate?
well, like you said, it's a little bit of math. I think it's just like math meets art with beading.
Mhm. It's very true. And then sometimes it's like, okay, do you do 2 rows of red, two rows of yellows, and you know,
Mhm.
whatever your pattern is, because that makes it look different too. You know, the more rows you do of any different color.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dolly and Mary, did you want to show how far you're getting, or are you still working?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, pretty.
very
I like your
nice.
colors. Oh shoot, and I made a mistake. Darn it. I hate when I make a mistake. So busy watching, I made a mistake. When I make a mistake, I usually go back very carefully. I take my needle out and take one bead off at a time. I missed my my spot to change colors. That's the thing about your when you're making a pattern that's not just a line of colors, sometimes you forget where your spot is to change. Which is what I just did. Not the end of the world. Gotta hope your needle hangs in there with you. But very carefully pull it out one bead at a time, and I can usually fix whatever goofball error I made. I know they say that most people make a mistake, you should just leave it in there, but I'm like, oh, not that mistake. I'll pick a different mistake to leave it there. So this time I'm fixing it. Okay, so my blues, and I had to add my purple in the middle. All right. So you guys feeling more confident with your peyote so far?
I know I am, but I'm doing even count on mine, so I'm gonna have to watch this video again to get used to the odd count.
Yeah, I guess when you get used to one style, it kind of sticks with you.
Mhm.
The first time I learned was in high school, and I think they taught me the odd. Then by accident, I was trying to do an even, and I like totally flubbed it up. They didn't know how to join it at the beginning, you know, where you start.
Oh, yeah.
It's when you get all the way around, what do you do? The only other thing is, do you have any questions on what to do when you have to change your thread? Because whatever thread you have isn't going to make it all the way around. If not, we'll just keep going. And then next week, we also meet again. And Janice is going to be there. And she is going to go over the magical part of if you keep on working, you're going to want to stop about a thumb away from the end. So you're going to want to stop about here so you can sew them up. And the hardest part is going to be as you go around, you usually want your design to mirror itself. So you want to be able to, as you go around, like say, oh, here's the middle. I have to go back around so that it copies whatever I did at the beginning. So you're going to keep going, 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 going. And then you're going to want to say, oh, I want to make sure I'm doing something that I can mirror on the other end and then finish up. But you're going to want to give yourself that thumb away from the bottom, because what you're going to do to get it to go together is you're going to join your ends together and you're going to sew this, sew this part up. Right here, the two ends are going to get sewn together and you're going to cover it with the leather, the little lovely piece of leather. And then you're going to bead over that so that it's all going to be one little keychain. So you just want to make sure you give yourself that thumb, because if you don't have a thumb and you stop and you have all these beads, you won't be able to join your keychain up. You need to have that little bit of space to work to bring it all together. So does everybody okay with that part? I hope. Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to forget that part and then you get too far down and say, oh, I didn't know I had to stop earlier. Which would be something I would do.
Yeah, usually the end of my first piece looks a lot better than the beginning of my first piece. So I'd be really sad if I had to undo the ending.
Yeah. Well, the hardest thing about the paracord is, and like when people make lanyards, you have to know when to start your mirror. You know, you have to be able to say, okay, I am stopping in the middle and I'm going to copy backwards what I did on the other end. If that makes sense. Do you understand,
Yeah.
Bethany?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to say, okay, this is the middle. Now I have to go backwards and make the mirror. Which is why sometimes these little repeating things, like if you do lines, or like I have my V and I'm starting my Shazam, I can keep repeating my little Shazam for a while. I can do singles and doubles. I'm going to get to a certain point and maybe just do solid colors. But then I have to make sure as I go down that it's repeating. And then who knows, maybe your design ends right here. You could always stop it earlier and make your keychain smaller if you need to, if your mirror ends up being off a little bit. Those are my lessons learned. The nicest thing about sewing it together at the end is you can decide where you want to quit, where your design ends. Whereas if you sew it together, then you're kind of like, yep, I got to stop now. I apologize. I keep thinking I'm looking over the camera, but I'm actually not. I find there's something really nice about going in circles. Once you know what you're doing, it's just really relaxing. The only time I go a little nutty is when I make a mistake or knot up my thread. Ugh. Well, we're at 2 o'clock. I'm assuming that people have to get back to doing other things. But we will be here again next week, Wednesday, and we'll be able to finish up this project. So hopefully you'll be able to do some of it on your own. And when we come back together, you'll be ready to, you'll be close to the end or at the end, and we can go over how to sew it all up together. And then get your key ring on there. Does anybody have any other questions before we leave? And see you next week.
Verna.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Do you have any questions?
Well, these arthritic hands, haven't done this in a long time, but I'm slow, but I'm glad to be doing it. Thank you.
Thanks,
Oh, you're
Maria.
welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can always stop in.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yep.
Right. Thank you.